What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's good to see you today on the Speak and See Show. Like, subscribe, click that notification button so when I get information out, you can get information in. We are going to dive right into the Restaurant Revitalization Fund. As of now, Congress has passed the bill HR 3807, which is going to allow $55 billion worth of money to go out into the economy right now, pump up those small businesses that have food venues, live venues, and other venues, gyms, and etc., to give grants out there worth up to $10 million for you small businesses. So can somebody say, hey, we still want our 10K?
Yeah.
All right, guys, well, we're still in this fight. We're still in this fight together. We are looking good right now. We are looking like we are heading into a position where small businesses are being identified once again. Of course, it's coming to election time, right? So we're being identified once again as heavy voters, and heavy voters bring big money into the economy, which the Congress has just done with a $55 billion HR 3807 bill that they sent through Congress, and now which is going to the Senate, which is looking like it's going to have more than enough votes. Those in the restaurant industry, don't panic. You're going to get your money. Congratulations to you. But to those small business owners out there who aren't getting your money, we're still fighting for you. Jason McElhone is out there. I heard him on the fire the other day, and I'm on fire too as well. I'm feeling really good about this upcoming election. We can do this, guys. We can get that 10K. But first, today we're going to be going over this $55 billion that the restaurants have just been afforded by Congress, and the reason why this should fly through the Senate with ease. Here we go. Let's get into this, guys. This great article from Small Biz Trends just came out, which I go to. I subscribe to their channel. They're great. Small Biz Trends. If you're into small businesses, this channel is great. It shows you grants and loans and things that the SBA is doing. It's a buffet of information for small businesses. And they wrote this article about the RRF, and we're going to go over that real quick. On Friday, the U.S. House of Representatives passed HR 3807, a bill which calls for $55 billion to replenish a small business grant program. The bill aims to supply small businesses in America which were most affected by COVID. The grant program was part of the American Rescue Plan. Of the $55 billion, $42 billion is earmarked for restaurants, food trucks, wineries, breweries, and bakeries. The remaining $13 billion would go to small businesses to include gyms, event venues, theaters, transportation contractors, and sports teams. That's a beautiful thing. We did not see that in the first Restaurant Revitalization Fund. This was specifically set aside for restaurants. So now they've added a little bit more money and a lot more money. We're talking billions. But we love to see all of you out there prosper. We love to see those businesses that are in need, in dire need, get their funds, whether we're getting it or not. We are joyful and we are happy for those businesses that will receive these funds and be less burdened in these economic times. We stick together. That's why we're good like that. A portion of the $13 billion would be set aside for grant program oversight. I can picture right now the politicians. How much can we take? How much can we build? We could use a brand new building right across the street from the White House, a big building, billion-dollar building, loaded with employees and government officials that can contact you and grab you by the neck. Does the latest measure have legs? Maybe. It passed the House by a 223 to 203 vote, but still has to get through the evenly party-split Senate. The Senate has adjourned as of April 8th for 2 weeks. Why? Congress has passed the bill. They are practically next door to each other. They can walk right over and say, okay, now put this in the Senate, call the senators up. We're talking $55 billion. Why are we postponing this for 2 weeks? Why don't you get the money now? They've been already postponing this thing for what, 3 months, if not longer. And why go on vacation? Okay, guys, we're going to set the bill. These restaurants are going to be fixed up. We're going to hook them up. We're going to set them straight. But you know what? I could use a vacation. Let's go on vacation for 2 weeks, and then we'll come back and pass it. Why? It's just, we could lose a couple more businesses in the process, but you know, yeah, I could use a vacation too. Why? Just pass it now. Anyways, in March, the restaurant relief funds were dropped from the Congressional Omnibus Spending Bill. Yeah, in March, they put the restaurant relief funds inside of the Omnibus Spending Bill. It was like a buffet of a beautiful restaurant relief program, in the midst of all this other stuff. It would be like having a filet mignon in the middle of dog poop and cow poop and flies and everything else. Why did they even put it there? They should have passed this thing separately in March. Hey, what's that doing there? That doesn't belong there. That same month, the Senate introduced S 2675, Continuing Emergency Support for Restaurants Act, on April 8th. The House passed H.R. 3807, which is the $55 billion small business grant program. As proposed, it would be funded by unused monies from the 2020 and 2021 pandemic relief programs. Yeah, that was the EIDL grant money. But you know what? At least it's going to more small businesses out there that can use it. And hopefully we can get that money back for you guys in the next bill that they're looking to pass. So they're at least giving it to small businesses, even though they pulled it from small businesses. So they're kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul here. But it's nice to see Paul being paid, because Paul, I eat at their restaurant and it's really good food, and I'd hate to see him go out of business. So congratulations to you. But just to let you know, they need to replenish the EIDL grant fund as well. And that's my opinion on that. If you've got an opinion or thought, please leave a comment down below and let me know how you feel about what is happening with the EIDL grants, what is happening with the RRFs, and how you feel about it, and how Congress and the Senate are using your money. Are they using it wisely, or are they not? So let me know down below. That's how we communicate here. That's how we get our ideas in order to bring forth into the Congress, in order to show the Senate and the congressional officers, in order to show the politicians. That's what Jason McElhone does on his channel. That's what I do on my channel, is we bring this awareness to the politicians, to those who can actually create these bills and get that money out to you. Let me know how you feel. Two similar measures were introduced by the House and Senate in 2021, and both are languishing. Where did you put those bills in 2021 that we were supposed to pass in the House and the Senate? Where'd you put them? I don't know. I guess they're just out there languishing. In June 2021, a $60 billion restaurant replenishment bill was introduced in the House. In July 2021, the $60 billion Entree Act was introduced in the Senate. Neither has passed. What about the Entree Act? That was a good bill. It had money out there for restaurants. It had money out there. It had $60 billion, kind of what we're looking at now, only, months and months later. What happened to that bill? It's just out there languishing, it's just languishing. The latest measure was introduced by Representative Earl Blumenauer, Democrat of Oregon. It shouldn't be this hard, Blumenauer said. The level of dissension and controversy has been indescribable, and I thought that the restaurants were a way to help bring us all together. They were a way to bring us all together. However, you put it in the buffet of doodly-doo, and then you threw it out there to languish. So now we're seeing the politics in this. We're seeing the sticks and stones thrown at the Republicans. Oh, I don't know. I thought we were going to bring each other together here. If their main purpose was to bring us all together on this would have been done a long time ago. As soon as the Restaurant Revitalization Fund had been run out of funds, or had been pretty much taken to court or for discriminatory purposes, they would have either put more money into it, immediately put more money into that, and take care of the restaurants that are still in need, because they didn't provide enough funds for it, such as the CARES Act with the EIDL grants. They would have provided the funds as they went along and just said, okay, give them the grants, give them the grants. Instead, they started making stipulations, and who do we give it to? Do we give it to this group over here? Do we give it to them over there? Why are we not doing this? And they're trying to say that they thought the restaurants would bring us all together. What it seems like they're doing to me is they're taking people and they're trying to not put them together, but separate them and divide them into different categories, into certain districts, to say you get this and you get this. And it doesn't look, and they're not looking at the whole picture, as if we're all Americans, we're all pitching into the same system, we're all paying into the same tax system that we give the money to the federal government, we're all giving to the IRS. And they're trying to say, well, you're going to get some and you're not, and you're not, and you're not. Hey, why are we dividing? Where's the division? I thought this was going to bring us all together. It's very hypocrisy at its highest level. But that's just what I think. What do you think? Comment down below. What should you do to get in line if H.R. 3087 passes the Senate? That's a good question. What do you do? Blumenauer explained that businesses which previously applied for the small business grants do not need to apply again. The waiting list is long. There were about 300,000 applicants for the original program, and only about 1/3 were awarded grants. Some of the application rejection was a result of confusion. During the first round of small business grants in the American Rescue Plan, businesses owned by women, minorities, and veterans were prioritized. However, after a series of discrimination lawsuits were filed, many applicants had their grants rescinded. This is where they had the problem, where the lawsuits were filed because the businesses that were in line, basically people got in line for this RRF. The SBA took it in line, and they were supposed to take the applications one by one, not looking at, you know, what color or what race, or if you're a woman or if you're a man, but in order that the applications were received. It'd be like going to line for food at a grocery store, and you're in line and some people are cutting in front of you, and you're like, why are they cutting in front of me? Well, they were cutting in front of you because you were white. So that went to court, and they realized, yeah, they were cutting in front of them because they were white. They ended up taking the people out of line who they had given the money to, pulling their money back and giving it to those that were in front line, giving it to the white people. So with that, there was confusion, is what they'd like to say. There was confusion. There was not confusion. There was direct discrimination against white people. We all know that. We can all say that because it's the truth. Now with this new program, they're not just going to be picking and choosing minorities or veterans or women or white people or Asian people. It's all, here's the money, Americans. That's the way it should be. So now with this new program, they're going to be saying, here, all of you, no matter what your color, no matter what your race, no matter where you're from, no matter who you're living with or what your plans are in life, if you're a small business owner, you're getting the grant. You're getting the money here. And that's the way it should be. That's the problem that these people had with it is, hey, why are we starting to strip people from getting the grants, and why wasn't there enough money put in? But biggest one of all is, why are you discriminating against the American people? And it was because they were white. Now, with this in there, with this new grant program in there, and we're seeing no policy map, that gives us hope for the EIDL grant, $10,000 EIDL grant that everybody was waiting for. Because now we can go forth and we can say, hey, you didn't put that policy map into the RRF, so why did you put it into the EIDL grant? It's the same thing. There's no differential of any of this. It's the same thing. Only these were only grants up to $10,000 per business. The money in the RRF is grants up to $10 million per business. So that's, one business can get $10 million. That's, well, 1,000 $10,000 grants. That's instead of giving another 1,000 businesses a $10,000 grant. So you're kind of taking the lower class, not the lower class, but the underserved businesses away here and giving it to the bigger businesses. In turn, making it look like we're taking care of the little people. I think we're onto that. Let's go forward. If your application had been rescinded, rejected, or never applied, you would apply via an SBA-approved lender. You'll need to be able to document the dollar amount of your lost revenue. For example, you'd compare pre-pandemic revenue to revenue during the pandemic and post-pandemic. The Small Business Administration would oversee the grant program and handle the funds. Grant amounts could be as much as $10 million per business or $5 million for each physical location. Now, can you imagine having to fight for a $10 million grant or a $5 million grant? And we're just asking for $10K that they promised us in the CARES Act. So these businesses are looking to get from anywhere up to $10 million grant. This is huge. Can you imagine a $10 million grant? Wow. Congratulations. Think about the stock markets and all this. Gonna go up. According to the Independent Restaurant Coalition, 90,000 restaurants have closed during the past 2 years, and 80% are on the verge of closing. So let's all take a 2-week vacation. We just hear that the Restaurant Coalition says 90,000 restaurants have closed during the past 2 years, and 80%, that's 4 out of 5 restaurants are on the verge of closing. So let's take 2 weeks, guys. Let's take a vacation. What can happen in 2 weeks? But there's no reason to end this video on a bad note. Congratulations to all you restaurants out there who have been struggling, that have been hanging on by a thread. You're getting your money. Thank God. We need you out there. All small businesses are all banding together with you on this. We are encouraging you to move forward and prosper. We are going to continue fighting for that $10,000 EIDL grant, policy map removal, and those of you to get the remainder of that $10,000. As me and Jason McElholm are in the mud right here fighting for you. go out to trysmallbiz.com, check out his website, ladies and gentlemen, hook up with him there, and together we can do this as a team. So somebody say, hey, we still want our 10K.
Somebody, give it to me. Somebody, give it to me. Somebody, yeah. Somebody say, hey, we want a 10K. Yeah. Hey, we want a 10K. Yeah. Hey, we want a 10K. Yeah. Hey, we want a 10K. Give it to me. Me and my friends, we like to play this game. Some call us annoying, but we think it's a shame. All find time to chat and go live and get with the House and Senate on the phone and online. We even tweet the press when we feel like we're stuck on Bill S513. They'll say you're out of luck, but I think that it's time that they hear our voice and then we say it louder because it's our choice. We say, hey.